Hello, everyone. Well, welcome back. Thank you a bunch for all the views on my first two videos. I know that was quite a brave venture, honestly. And funny enough, I tried to record the last video, I think like 2 days ago, but then I had to stop because I almost hit a deer on the way, and that kind of ruined my mojo. So now we're back, and I feel like that was one of the things that inspired me to do this video, which is about driving, safety, all that good stuff, being very aware, knowing what's around you and all that. So I want to dive first into just kind of a disclaimer. A lot of people might end up being from different areas with different regulations and laws, so it's important to understand that what I may be saying might not be entirely accurate pertaining to your region, but I'll do my best to kind of cover certain nuances that I think everyone might agree on, right? So let's begin. First and foremost, when you drive safe, typically you prevent accidents from happening. And what I hear a lot of the time is that sometimes when you get into an accident, yeah, it might not be your fault, but at the end of the day, you're still in an accident, right? It's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of especially if you're coming home after a long work week like I am. I just finished my shift like 10 minutes ago, and I was in the car warming it up. But yeah, regardless, driving safe has its benefits, and it's much more important that you do so instead of being an aggressive driver. Let me just flip this, that's really bright. So with that being said, what does it mean to drive safely, right? Well, in order to drive safely, you need to be aware. How do you be aware? Well, it's simple. When you're crossing an intersection, make sure there's nobody coming out ready to eat your soul alive, or any pedestrians, especially over in here. Pedestrians coming in and out of their car, want to be aware of that. People walking on the street, that sign right there, stop for pedestrians. Like that kid might have just jumped out at me if that mother didn't hold his hand. There's people over there at the firefighter station, railroad crossing. We got all the examples over here in this town, right? But just knowing what's around you, just like that, snappity snap, is very helpful, because that will kind of gauge what distance you should be in front of you, or whatever is in front of you, how far you need to be, or even to your side. And one thing that people pay a lot of attention to is the back of their car, or maybe their rear view mirror. Maybe if someone's behind them, maybe they're sniffing their ass or whatever, or maybe your ass is getting sniffed by someone just riding the back of your car. Do not do anything to provoke that, right? Or provoke anything worse than that. Because chances are, if the other driver is more aggressive, they'll just ramp up their efforts to make your day as bad as possible. And why do that when you can either just pull over for a little bit, let that other driver pass and go sniff someone else's ass, or just drive faster, as long as you're within legal limits, of course, as far as people behind you anyway. Now, as far as people in front of you, you want to have a good distance between yourself and them, so that way, as we're coming to the stop sign up ahead, if someone else decides to run it and they crash into that SUV in front of me, I have distance. I can stop at a perfectly reasonable point. And it's also better this way because the person up there might stop, but you're still rolling. And by the time they're done at the stop sign and rolling, you've just arrived. And now you can stop, and you're not holding up anyone behind you, assuming they're, following you at a reasonable distance. If they're not following you, if they're just really close to you, then they're going to be stopped by you as well. And that is kind of the theory behind reducing traffic jams, is having a large amount of space in front of you. So that way, when everyone stops, even though it's a green light, you have time before they start going again, just like now. And I didn't even have to brake that much, which in turn allows the car behind me to not brake that much. I believe I should be in the left lane, yes. But that's really the whole point of keeping your distance, is so that people around you kind of don't have to suddenly stop or accelerate, whatever the case may be. You want to, perhaps when we get to the next stoplight, I can show you all, but basically, when you accelerate, you don't want to jump forward instantly. The other driver behind you has a reaction time. We all have reaction times. Some are slow, some are fast. You can definitely see at a stoplight when it turns green which driver is slower, however the case may be. And it's like a chain reaction. It takes amount of time for that light to turn green, or for that driver to notice that the light is green. It takes another amount of time for that driver to step on the pedal to accelerate, right? And typical, you see, you don't really go. You can't go unless the other driver in front of you is going. So by the time you notice the driver in front of you going, then you can put your foot on the pedal. But that also takes time. And it repeats over and over and over and over again until it reaches all the way in the back. But by the time it reaches in the back, it's already going to be a red light. So just like I did there, you don't want to accelerate, you don't want to jolt the car like vroom, but just be gentle, be passive, know what's on the road, and more importantly, know how to choreograph your movement so that it's easier for drivers to know what you're going to do. That also means, when you're about to come up to a turn, don't put on your turn signal last moment. You want to put on your turn signal before you hit the brakes. That is the key thing. Before you hit the brakes, your turn signal your turn signal should always be on. So that way, if someone is closer than you'd like them to be behind you and you're about to make the turn, they'll know that you're going to be turning, and so they'll make the reaction necessary in order to not slam their brakes and make themselves uncomfortable, and perhaps even making the person behind them uncomfortable by slamming the brakes. It's preventing that chain reaction by just having enough space between you and the car, in front of you and behind you, all that. Now we're going to get on the turnpike soon enough, but one thing I want to discuss too is the seasons. Right now, it is November 7th, the grand year of 2025, and it's hunting season. It's also because it's hunting season, oh my God, turn off your high beams. Anyway, it's hunting season for a reason, and it's because deer are everywhere, and that can include the road. And I've seen, I think, like 5 dead deer in the past 3 days, mainly because of people who probably couldn't stop in time. But you can't really predict when a deer is going to jump out at you, but you can always prepare for the worst. And typically in areas like these, it's going to be frequent, right? There's trees everywhere. There's kind of a bunch of light on the sides, so deer might have a hard time noticing the head beams or the headlights that people turn on if they're too focused on, other distractions like all this stuff here on the right. But regardless of that, don't speed too much during deer season, and definitely take highways if you can, or at least roads where a lot of people travel on them, because if a lot of people travel on them, there's a good chance that maybe the car in front of you or the car behind you is going to soak up that one deer that decides to run out and get itself killed instead of it being you, right? But also keep in mind, dead deer pose as obstacles on the roadway, so then now it's just like, well, damn, I gotta avoid it. And typically when you avoid something, you don't want to swerve too much, because if you're gonna swerve, you're gonna be in the other lane, you're gonna hit the other car, and well, what are you gonna say to your insurance? Oh great, I I saw a dead deer on the road and I hit a car because of it. It's like, well, congrats, now you're still in an accident, right? Regardless of whose fault it is, or if it's truly an accident, you still damaged your car and you still got to go through that process. So now as we're entering the not the turnpike, but the road leading up to the turnpike, you'll notice that sometimes people, that I'm lucky, there's not much traffic, but people will stop at the entrance. Don't stop. That is a horrible way to die, right? Getting slammed in the back at 50 miles an hour. And keep in mind, when someone rear ends you, that is arguably more dangerous than, say, a T-bone or, a partial head-on collision, because your car is not well protected from the back like it is from the front. It's just how the car is shaped. It's like an egg, if you put pressure on an egg in the direction that it's going to break, then it will break more easy when you're trying to put pressure on it on any specific position. Same thing with a car. Car is literally just a steel egg with wheels. They're designed to crumple. They're designed to shield the user from that sudden stop. The stop is what kills people, right? It's like that one quote from Jeremy Clarkson. But you already know what I mean. So just being aware of your surroundings, and I guess a big point is, if you don't feel like, if you're not in a rush, if you're not doing anything that's going to require an excessive amount of speed, stay the hell in the right lane, dude. And when someone tries to merge, slow down so they can merge, or at least try to you don't want to be next to them. You want to be behind the merger or in front of the merger, because if you don't follow that, well, yeah, they're going to crash into you. And what are you going to say? Oh, it's not my fault. They're supposed to yield, but guess what? You still crashed. So put your ego aside and realize that this is not just for, other people, but this is for you and to save your time. And that's one thing too. Never drive with an ego, ever. You're stuck at a traffic light because someone decided to cut in front of you. You can feel offended, yes, but don't take it out on other people, ever. Don't speed up because you're mad. I see a lot of people doing that, including my friends, right? Don't do that. And I'm not sure why this is a thing, but the car in front of me has their headlights turned off. So, I'm gonna flash them. They'll recognize soon enough. This is a pretty well lit area, so once it gets dark, they'll realize their lights are off. But yeah, those are some of the tips. When it's snowing, stop. don't even speak. You've seen, if you've been on the internet long enough, you've seen all these pile-ups and these crashes, especially the one in Texas that happened 4 years ago. I keep seeing videos of it online. People go too fast when there's icy conditions. Just please, when it's snowing or when it's raining, drive slower. My car is 2,600 pounds. It is so light to the point where it will hydroplane, and keep in mind these are new tires. It will slide out. It will fishtail from the slightest amount of rain. And you know, it's not just me, you know, being a bad driver. It's just how the car is. My coworker had the same thing happen to him when he was driving in rain. It was for Christ's sake, it was a Civic Type R. So drive slower. Drive slower. Even if you have a heavy car, drive slower. I don't think this person's realized that their lights are not on, so it's whatever. As long as they're visible, then that's fine. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that video. Maybe in the comment section, maybe you guys can bet on whether or not this person turns on their headlights by the time I get onto the turnpike. But we'll see.